Hello, friends. First of all, I noticed I have quite a bit of an uptick in the number of subscribers, and I think it's from the recent videos. And while I have usually expressed a lot of disdain for algorithm driven subscriptions, but hey, sort of came around on that. Thank you so much for subscribing, and while you're here, hope you have a good time. And also, I see some people joining the Discord as well. After you joined, don't I can't really tell you what to do, but don't be shy. You can ask questions anytime you need, and I'm happy to answer them on YouTube. Today, I wanted to kind of answer a really general question in terms of many people ask, not just me, but on the internet, how do I X? How do I Y? So how do I hack my brain so that I don't feel these things? How do I wake up early in the morning? How, right? And all these hows, they usually have universally in one thing. You want to put in a little bit of investment and knowledge so that you can optimize the performance when you're actually doing, right? So the intent behind wanting to learn how is very good. But when that is habituated, what tends to happen is you kind of feel paralyzed when you don't know how. And hence, you're always looking for the knowledge first before you can implement. But what people could use a really nice reminder of is that knowledge isn't necessarily a mandatory precursor to implementation. So, I coach a lot of people, right? And in my coaching career, I found one generalization to be true. And it's that clients who tend to be very inquisitive, clients who tend to challenge me a lot, clients who tend to show up with a list of things that they want answered, those clients tend to make the deepest and most revealing discoveries about themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that all the other people aren't necessarily getting the deepest ones, but it's that their progress is rapid in the way they want to develop in because they have implemented first. And then they are meeting themselves at this kind of a breaking point where their existing knowledge set isn't compatible with their implementation. So I'll take business coaching as an example, right? Business coaching in the typical sense, from a capitalist kind of a perspective, enables you to do a lot of FOMO based marketing, right? Don't miss this chance, you have limited opportunity, and this pricing is not gonna last forever. And then a lot of people have personalities that aren't really compatible with that kind of driving, that kind of fear of losing out, right? Fear of missing out. But so, hey, best practices say you have to do this. That's what the knowledge says. But the implementation of their business is actually making them suffer a lot. And it is when this dissonance, when this disagreement between the implementation and the knowledge, when it's at its peak, then you're really curious, right? There's this burning curiosity of but how do I get this to work? And even though that's a how question, that kind of sense, when I come into the play, that's when there's a spark that ignites a whole sequence of things, right? And the core difference is that kind of a how is more how come? Whereas, hey, how do I actually become a morning person? It's just wanting knowledge, right? But same question, being a morning person, but when I tried becoming a morning person, I always end up going back to sleep. But there's all these people who say that being a morning person is really nice. But my experience with that is different. So while I could agree that it's just not for me, why doesn't being a morning person work for me? So how? How come? If Billy and somebody else says morning, waking up early in the morning is good. How come? And that's a very different kind of how. So, the generalization that I want to make in this video is this. If you find yourself asking, but how do I do that? But how do I do that? But how do I do that a lot? It may be time for you to implement a little bit more in your life. Take more action. Try out what it is like to do without the knowledge. And then, by the implementation, you have to. If it's something that you're interested in and you're pursuing, you have to learn something from the implementation. And at those moments, you are going to start carving a pathway towards that deep level of like, how come? And at that point, when you can kind of meditate and reflect alone, and then you're gonna get at this like big answer. But at the same time, you can ask here, you can ask online, and then at those moments, it can be the same information. I can give you the same coaching, but if you're not at that level of deep burning curiosity and inquisitiveness, it's not going to have the same impact, even if it's the same coaching. And so I want you to get that balance of implementation and knowledge. Have both.